The first thing you guys need to do is educate yourself, because it's obvious you're not using your brain one bit. The year depends on the movement of the sun, and the Creator made a cycle that repeats itself over and over again, just as the moon changes its phases and has a cycle of approximately 30 days. So the sun has its cycle that lasts 365.25 days. The Creator made 4 boundaries that are markers of this cycle, namely 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices, and these are the signs of that cycle, where the spring sign marks the beginning of the year. Even the trees are aware of these signs and begin to blossom to mark the beginning of the year. The year is divided into days, weeks, months, which divide the year into a certain number of divisions. But the sun does not show us the signs of those divisions and how many divisions the month should be. And therefore the moon and its cycle were created to mark the periods and division of the year into months, but since the period of the month is always the same, it does not have a sign to mark the end of the annual cycle. It is not possible to mark the number of its cycles within the year, and for this job the sun is a sign, which divides the year into the 4 signs that we mentioned earlier. The cycle of the moon is approximately 30 days. 365.25 divided by 30 is 12.175, so the approximate number of lunar cycles in the annual cycle is 12. Which is also indicated by the number of star constellations through which the sun and the moon sail. With this in mind, we have a vision of a cosmic clock in the sky, whose circle with numbers is made up of 12 constellations of stars, and where the sun is the small hand on the clock, while the moon is the large hand on the clock, and the constellations of stars make up the numbers on the circle. The moon will sail every day from one constellation of stars to another, where in 30 days it will meet the sun and move the sun by only one constellation, one number. And so on until the 12th constellation, when both will announce a new circle. These are signs for those who think the Creator did not create this in vain. Considering that the cycle of the sun is 365.25, and that of the month is 354, the difference, which is approximately some 11 days, will cause the moon to make 30 days less than this circle of the great clock, and its 13th cycle will still sail in the 12th number of constellations, which will indicate a natural intercalation. At the time of the Prophet Muhammad, some of the Arabs, who wanted to go to war, and because the holy months prevented them, they pushed the holy months back by unnecessarily adding to the cycle of the moon, thus prolonging the announcement of the holy months, which resulted in the shifting of the holy months from number to number, from season to season, and creating a mess. 7 years after the death of the Prophet, Umar changed the lunisolar calendar into a purely lunar calendar, throwing the sign of the sun behind his back, making the holy months sail within the great clock into different months, that is, the numbers of the great cosmic clock, and into different seasons. Looking at the names of the months he gave, it can be seen that he was completely ignorant of the lack of lunar days compared to the great cosmic clock, and he named some months as first spring, second spring, first summer, second summer. Of course, these names have been lost meaning after some 9 years of establishing this calendar, which is also a sign of his wrong interpretation or agenda. And this calendar is a direct rebellion against the cosmic clock, against the signs created by the Creator, and against the Creator himself.